Hello, my name is Germana Rovinelli. I am the owner of Heart Consulting in Nanaimo, BC. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist with 23 years experience as a hypnotherapist and 30 years experience in the fitness industry as a certified fitness instructor and personal trainer. The topic that I'd like just to share with you today is about using certain holistic tools to combat seasonal affective disorder and depression. Depression is pretty common, especially as we get into the winter and the fall. People often find they have less energy. They often have more aches and pains. They often just don't feel well. And depression is actually part of a grief cycle, and yet some people are more prone to being down at this time of year. So I'm just wanting to offer some easy tips, some suggestions, some encouragement to you to take part in your recovery if you are someone that is prone to the blues and you'd like to be able to help yourself out of that place without medication. And if you require medication, so be it. So let's just look at some really simple things that a person can do to help elevate the brain chemistry. And one of the easy things that we can do is put on our shoes or our runners or our gum boots and get out on a daily basis for a walk. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, wonderful. One thing that really helps is if you have a buddy, someone who you can go out with even 3 times a week that you schedule, say a 10 o'clock walk, and maybe you go and have tea afterwards, or or coffee as part of your connection. Walking has actually been shown to really reduce the symptoms of depression, fatigue, and just overall low energy. Another really helpful thing to do is to have a note somewhere in your house. I have one in my bathroom that says, Germana, what can I do for you today to make you happy? And what that does is it asks me a very simple question to ask myself, what can I do today? Something for myself that will lift my happy meter, that will lift my spirits, that may allow me to feel better about being, alive and with all the responsibilities that I happen to have in my life today. And so often it's very simple. Something as simple as, for me, because I work as a fitness professional and I'm active, I'm fairly active, about maybe 7 hours a week of activity. Sometimes for me it's as simple as having an afternoon nap or a hot bubble bath, or going for a walk with a girlfriend, or grooming my dog, or just laying on the couch and doing nothing for an hour. But it's an important question to ask yourself, what can you do today, very simple, that will allow you to be happy, that doesn't have to cost you money, that doesn't have to, put a big obstacle in your path. It can be something very simple. Sometimes it's as simple as just going through your closet and giving away things you're not going to wear. And so let's talk about beating the winter blues. Most of us, myself included, when the rain comes, it's dark, it gets dark early, it's easy to get a little bit discouraged. So then it's, how do you create strategies? And one of them I've offered is a regular walk buddy, getting out there for a regular walk. Another is really, and it may seem, ridiculous, but regular, hard strength training or fitness training, where you're actually asking your body to be challenged. There's some exertion. And then after you've challenged your body, your brain releases endorphins. It's a natural painkiller. It's a natural form of morphine that actually lifts your mood, gives you more energy. And some people call it the runner's high, or the high from exercise. And the neat thing about, if you can get used to doing some form of resistance training, your body does release these natural endorphins. It does make you feel better. It improves your immune system and your ability to handle stress. So I often say to people, it's like getting high on nature's supply. Your body has a natural built-in endorphin kick that comes when you exercise. And we're not talking super easy, but we're not talking super hard. We're talking something that challenges you, that loads your muscles, that when you're done, you're like relieved it's over, but there's a sense of accomplishment. And that really matters, because that in itself does reduce depression. And in fact, what people don't realize, or you may realize, is that the single most effective tool that you have in fighting seasonal affective disorder or depression or clinical depression is exercise. In fact, it's proven to be more effective across the board than talk therapy and or medication. And I'm not saying talk therapy isn't helpful. Having a walk buddy sometimes is good talk therapy, and sometimes medication gets us through a hard patch in our life. But exercise single-handedly is much more powerful than medication and talk therapy. So that's something to consider. And you don't have to spend a lot of money to be active. You don't have to go to a gym to be active. 99.9% of the customers and clients that I have do not require equipment, because I often use body weight, and I use bands, and I might use a stability ball. Now you can buy those for well under $100 and have a wonderful, wonderful set of tools at home, that when you've got 30 minutes or 40 minutes, when you don't want to get changed into your fitness gear, and you can do your little mini routine and then have a shower or have your breakfast or have your lunch and carry on with your day. It allows you to find time for yourself. And believe it or not, so many people are so stressed out, the last thing they have time for is themselves, which in itself can lead to depression, because you're giving, you're constantly pouring energy into other people's cups. And yet if you don't refill your self-care pitcher, eventually life can get pretty discouraging. So finding a way to look after yourself. I really like the idea of being self-inquiring. What can I do for you today to make you happy? And women are notorious for giving and giving and giving, and then not having time for themselves. And they often end up being that one that's, angry, frustrated, lonely, tired, stressed, and not having time for good meals, not having time for quality. And it's really important that we, as a population, learn how to be what one of my teachers calls selfishly wise, to take time for ourselves so we have something in us authentically to give, that we're not giving from a depleted account. So I'll share some of the things that have been really helpful for me when I've come up against the seasonal affective disorder piece. It's been something I've struggled with. Depression does run in my family, and I did find exercise as quite a young person was very helpful. And even as a little girl, it was the one thing that I loved, that no one could take from me, and I often did it alone, which is odd. I also created a support network of people that I can talk to, people that I can ask them, how was your day? And they can ask me, how was my day? And sometimes we just sit and listen. And sometimes having a dinner date with a really good friend is a wonderful thing to do, or making dinner for someone, or having them make dinner for me. As well as making sure that the brain is properly nourished, the immune system's nourished. Most people have this whole story about it's flu season and get your shot and run out there and be all afraid of this flu thing. And a lot of the immune system issues that we run up against now is more lifestyle related. There's not enough sunlight. We're wearing sunscreen when we actually need to get vitamin D in our body. We can't get that unless we actually have real exposure to the sun. We need to make sure we have the right type of a vitamin A, which comes from cod liver oil, to actually absorb the vitamin D. So, clearly I would supplement with cod liver oil. You can buy peach flavor, orange, strawberry, lemon, tablespoon a day during the winter and anytime during the year, especially if you have children and you want to keep your immune system healthy. It's a great idea. And then taking vitamin D3 as a supplement can really help your immune system. It's a very, very cost-effective supplement. It actually creates a steroid-like effect, which as your body is allowed or is able to repair quickly. And so it's not as if you're taking steroids, but you're giving your body the cofactors to do its own natural steroid-like activity while you're sleeping, while you're working, while you're texting, while you're doing your life. Another really important series of cofactors and nutrients is vitamin B complex. Not from a petri dish, one that actually comes from foods that are taken and extracted and created into a tablet, and you would take 2 of those. A B complex and a B12 is wonderful. You can buy them sublingually where you suck on them or you stick them under your tongue. And also vitamin C and zinc. Zinc is one of the most important minerals that we need to keep our immune system strong. And the whole flu season thing is often because we're eating white flour, we're eating white sugar, we're drinking all sorts of things that are full of sugar and synthetics that are